Hi guys, it's Cindy with Scrap Wrap, and today I want to make this very simple, very easy little pocket folio. And I was digging through my paper. This is the paper that I'm going to use. We're also going to use a scrap of a file folder, but I wanted to take these little journaling cards and show y'all. I actually want to do this one too. Show y'all the papers that you have in some of these. Where's the other one? Some of these pads that, sorry, some of these pads that you have, how you can take them and make them into instantaneous ephemera. Now you're not going to want to use the real thin ones. These have a decent weight to them, definitely workable. And yeah, the reason I stopped talking a while ago is because I saw this and I have an idea for that too. But seeing squirrels, we're going to real quick, gonna put this to the side. I'm going to do this at the end, but to prepare it, I want to spray it with some coffee, and then we're going to set it over to the side and let it dry. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to cut the base out of the file folder, and then we're going to cover the one side with half of this sheet, and then we're going to take the other half and we're going to make the inside pockets. So pretty simple, pretty easy. I'll go through and tell you all the measurements and stuff, but really you can make these any size. Most of the stuff that I do, I say that you can make it any size to kind of suit what you need for your project. And well, it's true. So what we have is basically a 6 by 12 in the file folder. And the only thing that you're really going to have to worry about is if the file folder scrap, or if you're using just a normal file folder, if the fold is in the correct spot. I'm trying to grab out another file folder. It's not seeming to cooperate. There we go. Okay, if you cut it this way, obviously it would not matter where you cut it because you don't have a fold. But if you're cutting it this way, it's going to matter where your fold is. So my fold is at almost 4 3/4. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to make this fold here 4 3/4, a little over 4 3/4 from that way. So that way we make sure we have enough room for it to close, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second. Hopefully I'm not confusing y'all like I'm confusing myself. Okay, so that's 4 3/4. So we're going to go one notch over. And we're just going to score it. And see how it's just a little bit over? That's what we want. Okay, basically what we're looking at is we're looking at our paper, because this is how our folio is going to close. Or we can turn it this way and make our folio close like this. Okay? So right now there's no limitations to it. We're just making it. So I think I want to use this for the front of it. And excuse my loud family. I think we're going to use this. And then we'll use this for the inside. This is a little bit more grungy, and that's kind of what the mood I'm in for tonight. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to take our glue stick. See, are we going to cut this down first? Yeah, let's just fly by the seat of our pants. Seems to work for us most days. That's better. Happier with that. Okay. Where's my towel? I don't know. It'd be alright. We're just going to have sticky fingers tonight. We can clean this up. It's going to be all right, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our cutter out and we're going to cut this off. Then I'm going to clean up the edges a little bit. You really should let it dry before you start cutting on it, but you all know that I do not have time for that. Just cut little slivers off just to straighten it up some. Okay, so now we have our little folio. And now we're going to be cutting the little pockets that go on the inside. And then if you wanted to cover this completely, or if you wanted to put a pocket on it, like this one. This is just a little tuck pocket. So we're going to go from this guy to this guy. So this is 4 3/4. And this one is... was my dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. 4 and 5/8. Okay, so 4 and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5/8. Right. Come on now, and we're gonna go just a hair under. Okay. Why do those look so big? All right. Oh, this, I did a video on these the other day, and this is what I put my projects in. That's what I had all this stuff in. And I have a bin over there for ideas for videos. And I said that I'd use these page protectors for all kinds of things. That's just yet another use that I use them for. So I think I will put this on the hashtag create on the cheap playlist. If you haven't been watching it, or if you haven't seen it or checked it out or whatever, go and check it out, because it's all about saving money while you're crafting. It's about using what you have, you know, all of those things that we should be using. And what started it was I had bought a lot off of Facebook. No, not off of Facebook, online. Off of eBay. And it was basically all like AliExpress, Temu-y type, the thinner papers that, you know, that they had. And I've been using some of those in some of the projects, because I know I was buying them there for a bit until I came to the conclusion that they might not all be original. So I stopped, because I knew I was going to make a few videos. I didn't know that I was going to make as many as I have, I guess. But I'm having fun doing it. But yeah, some of my church ladies had asked about a few things, so that's kind of what prompted the videos to start. They had asked me about a couple of things, how you make them, and so I made videos to show them, and other people actually watch them. So how about that? But I guess that's the way that YouTube works. And if I can come on and spread joy with any other living soul, that brings joy to my heart. So, you know, that's how we got here. So I'm just cutting these down a little bit. I'm just trying to kind of get them to where they have a little tiny bit of a border. I'll lift this up so I can show y'all. Just a little tiny bit of a border around them. And then this one is probably going to be a bear, but I think what I might do is just flip him over and kind of mark him a little bit and go from there. So we're just going to flip him over, get him in that crease real good. And we're just going to mark him off there. Why? Why are you so wonky? Okay. That's better. We're going to cut a little notch out somewhere in him. Somewhere. Not sure where. These two guys, we're going to do just a little circle notch up top. Nice. Just a normal size circle punch. Come on, guys. Okay. All right. We're going to try to get this even. This one I have to use like this, and it's always kind of scary because, you know, I don't know exactly where it's going to punch. How deep is it? I don't know. Hopefully it's not too awful. It's not too bad. We'll go with that because it's too hard to glue back in. So, okay, so we have our bigger one and our smaller one. And then we have this little guy that we want to put over here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, I have this little tab punch. Basically, you just kind of come in and you just punch. You come over a little bit and you just kind of line it up and you just punch. We're going to come over here and we're just going to kind of line it up a little bit and punch. You just nip it out just a little bit more. It's good enough. That's what I do with not just this punch. I use lots of punches like that. You can use part of your punch, all of your punch, multiples of your punch. Okay, now we are going to use, I think we're going to use walnut stain because this is pretty dark. And I'm in that grungy mood. So we're going to just ink some of this up real quick. Okay, so we're all done with the inking, except for I didn't do this one because I wanted to show you. Some of these had this really heavy distressing already around it. So basically I just kind of went along the edge of the white paper just to kind of cover that up on these. Just to cover up the white, but the rest of it I did kind of ink a little bit. All right, so we're going to leave this out because now we have to decide on which of these are actually going to have rounded corners. I'm going to round this one. I'm going to round this one. So therefore, I'm going to round these two, and I'm going to round these two. These we're going to hold where our notch is. And I'm going to put my hand on the table so I don't shake too much for y'all. Yep, let's see. Well, gee, thank goodness you put your hand on the table because otherwise you would look like you were sewing a wonky stitch. Yeah. You've watched me before, you know that that's just the way I am. That's the way God made me. Okay. I shake, and not much I can do about it. I can, but I don't like the way the medicine makes me feel. So there's that. Okay. All right. So this one, I'm going to try. Goodness gracious. Okay, we're going to try. Oh boy. Thank goodness this is over 4 inches wide, and I usually don't make journaling cards that big. Okay. All right, so there's our crease, and over here's our crease. So we're just going to try to get it lined up in here to where we have our little border around it. Come on. You got to move a little bit. Whoops, not that much. Move a little bit. There we go. A lot of people who shake like me, and a lot of them think that they can't craft because they shake. So I'm here to tell you, you can. And you know what? You've got to laugh at yourself. It's like this. Look how messy. It's a mess, but it's okay. Because you know what? We're having fun. And we're going to be able to make these things, and we're going to share them with others. And it's going to make others happy, and it's going to make us feel good for making something for someone else. You know, even if you're selling them at a craft fair, just it feels good to make something and have someone enjoy it. You know, you don't have to give them away to get a good feeling out of this stuff. There is our little folio, and this is just raggedy. I might let him dry a little bit and hit him with the sander. I'm not going to do that to y'all because I know it is loud. I've watched my own videos, and oh, boy, do I apologize for that thing. I do have this one, but I don't want to do it while it's wet because it'll take too much off. But once it dries, come through and take a little sander and just go through and kind of knock some of those little raggedy edges down. Or if you like them, leave them. Okay, so there is our folio. So we have that. This one's got a little bit bigger of a flap, and I kind of like it because it's nice and grungy and dirty. And we could put stuff in there. We could decorate it. Send it in Happy Mail. Make this instead of a birthday card. You could put a little gift card in here. Put a couple of little, tuck little notes in there or pictures or what have you. And there's your gift. So I want to the coffee dye stuff that we did. Okay, so I have taken 6x6 papers, and I gotta think of who did it. Not sure. I can't remember who did it. I can't remember if it was Camellia Craft Designs or if it was Seven Plaza that did it. If you know, please let me know in the comments below, and then that way everybody will know. I'll pin it to the top if you know who did it. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut these down to 6x6. What I have done in the past is take a 6x6 pad of paper, and basically, this is not 6x6 obviously, but basically you take part of it and you fold it over. You put washi tape or something down here if it's one-sided, and you make a little pocket out of it. We're going to do that, but we're going to use these 3 strips here because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Look, it's perfect. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just stay tuned. I'll show you. But we're going to cut these down to 6x6. Hopefully they're roundabout. Maybe we won't crack our paper so bad. This one, I think I'm going to go over just a little bit. I'm going to go to 3 3/4. And we're going to score it there. And that, cut the paper. Man, I am on a roll tonight. It's okay. We're going to take some tape and we're going to fix that. Stressed out before we stick the tape down, son. Come on. There we go. All right. There we go. So what you would do is just stick that in there like that, and then you have a little pocket. We're going to make one. And then the rest of these I'm going to do off camera. I'm going to stick this guy down. You could also use washi tape, like I said. You could use another scrap of paper. I'm going to glue this side down. We're going to glue this side down. And I'm going to ever so slightly, if I can do it, just to keep this from ripping. Go right along that edge. You don't have to do that if your paper didn't rip. I just want to keep it from getting any more damaged. Good grief, Cindy. There we go. And I'm not going to put a notch or anything in it. I'm just going to glue it down. This one we are going to make into a tag. So we're just going to nip off this corner here. We're going to take this little guy that we nipped off. We're going to flip him straight over. We're going to take him over to this side. And we're going to nip this guy off here. And now you have a tag with a little pocket. And we'll decorate them and ink them and make them all cute. But for now, he's going to go to the side. And we are going to check on our papers that we dyed. They're mostly dry. Normally I would wait for them to dry completely and I would iron the back of them. I wouldn't iron the front of these because of the embellishments that they have on them. But I will go ahead and cut this one down and stick it under something heavy and it'll flatten it out just fine. These, you could come in and you could round the corners of them if you wanted. You could make them into a tag. You could embellish them if you wanted, or you can just have them as little journaling cards that have coffee dye on the back now. Instead of coffee dyeing, putting down coffee dyed paper on each individual one, I wanted to touch on the ephemera pieces that are on this sheet here. Not that I'm going to do it right now because I don't want to put y'all through it. But take and fussy cut all of these pieces out and then put them in your stash instead of leaving them in the pad like I had. And then that way, you know, you can use them and just take them. And I usually have like a little folder that I take and I keep it by the television if we're watching a movie, or we watch Gunsmoke a lot and I know a lot of those by heart. So sometimes I will sit and cut and then I'll watch the good parts. So yeah, here's your journaling cards. And here are the little folios. And those are still not dry enough to sand. But yeah, so that's about it. That's what I have for tonight. I do have quite a few more in mind. I have made a folio that took me 3 days to figure out how to make. I will be making that in an upcoming video. I do want to show y'all real quick what it looks like. I will be doing this in an upcoming video. But it's going to take me a minute. This is something that it was a labor of love, and I was very determined to get this little guy figured out. So, yeah, this is, it's not even really, I don't know. It's one of those things. I obsessed over it and literally took me 3 days with lots of caffeine and lots of mistakes. And I will just say, I wish I would have filmed it because to make this again is going to be an absolute nightmare. But for y'all, I will do it. And I didn't even wrap that around there. Isn't that funny? But for y'all, yeah, I will do it. And I'll figure it out. But let me know if you actually do want to see it in the comments below. Because I kind of need some encouragement with this one. And yeah, it might be a two-parter. I'm just going to say that. So I do want to thank everybody for stopping by. I want to thank each and every one of you that have subscribed. I want to put the offer out there for you to subscribe if you have not, if you're new here. And it doesn't cost anything, you know, it's free. And you can see more of my clamoring through the chaos with my craft room and the things that go wrong in here. I've been doing this for an awful long time, not just junk journaling, but paper crafting in general. And I've always made mistakes, and I'm clumsy enough to do them quite often, and I try and figure them out and correct them. And so if I run across something during a video, I usually try and show y'all how to fix it, and you know, kind of like this with the sanding it. But yeah, so I did want to say thanks, and want y'all to all go out and spread some joy today, and yeah, love one another. And thanks a lot, guys. Much love.